Rita, on Friday, we had the first diplomatic breakthrough in this war. On Saturday, the port at the heart of this agreement was attacked. And today, finally, an admission from Russia on being behind that missile strike, but also a denial at being behind the resulting global food crisis. There is a lot riding on this ceasefire, not least for Ukraine. Ukraine's grain problem, summed up by Volodymyr on his farm. Farmers like Volodymyr need this agreement to work for their livelihoods. Ukraine needs it to work for its economy, and tens of millions of people around the world need it to work to survive. And it is those forces which are keeping this deal going for now.
James only moved there in January. Barely a month later, he was living and working from an underground bunker. He will be back in Ukraine soon, but for now, I am delighted to say he's here with us this morning on the sofa.
What a pleasure to see you.
James,
It's lovely to be here.
It's great to see you in the flesh, because we're so used, aren't we, to talking to you every morning in really difficult conditions. And it's great that you're just having a little bit of a break away from that at the moment. You're here temporarily.
On the red sofa.
On the famous red sofa.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming in. And first of all, we're just listening to Jenny talking about the situation, what we're hearing from Russia at the moment. Before you left, what was the situation that you left? What was it like?
Well, cast your minds back. Do you remember mid-January? That crisis was building. It was, I hate the word, but it was a geopolitical story. It was about what different world leaders were saying. It was about the movement of tens of thousands of Russian troops along Ukraine's border. It was about all the diplomatic visits to Kyiv, where President Zelensky would welcome world leader after world leader. There'd be promises of support. And for example, I arrived on the 17th of January, and on the 18th, they said, come into the BBC offices, meet the team, all the rest of it. And we had a 12-hour day, and that has been the case ever since. And it just shows the level of interest in what has been happening there, which is great. It's important from our perspective, but that has never waned. And like so many others, even your typical Ukrainian who's been so used to Russian aggression, when you walked around that city, when you saw the day-to-day life, it just didn't add up. You think, this won't escalate further. And yet, 24th of February happened.
James, just first of all, bring us up to date with the situation in Mariupol.
Well, I think we start with the positive, because there aren't many of those, in that we are told by both Russia and Ukraine that the remaining women, elderly people and children trapped in those Soviet-era steel works, the network of tunnels underneath, they have now been able to leave, we're told. The Ukrainian fighters there say they used a white flag system to get them out. Where the Russians once were, when they were once carrying out this much fuller-scale invasion in the Kyiv region here, we've been seeing for ourselves how communities have been trying to rebuild. This is more than a journey. It's a capital city trying to reconnect with communities the Russians tried to take. And there's no better reminder of that threat than Borodyanka. Not many humans live here now. There are reminders of day-to-day life and happier times. Previous lives suspended. I reported on towns like Makariv for weeks. We knew this was where some of the heaviest fighting was happening, and being here for the first time really makes you think of the unimaginable things which occurred. The route to recovery is going to be long and difficult, but it's a path people here are determined to take. Military experts in the US, as you can hear, reckon most of Russia's advances are continuing to stall because of poor planning. President Zelensky is hoping that will pull Moscow towards the negotiating table, but the US is making much darker predictions.
Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, has said Russia is imitating the tactics of Nazi Germany. Let's talk to our Kyiv correspondent James Waterhouse. Tell us more about what the Ukrainian president has been saying.
Well, Victoria, this is becoming an argument about the meaning of Victory Day. This is an occasion for both Ukraine and Russia, both large parts of the Soviet Union that prevailed in the Second World War. Just look at that new block of flats. The reason for curfews like this
isn't just about the impact, it's to do with the wider damage. Every building we can see around here has got smashed windows, or some of the cladding has fallen off. Everything has been affected. So a symbol of thanks and appreciation from Ukrainians for all the military aid which has come its way, but there is still uncertainty from people on both what is going to happen next, and should there be an invasion, who is going to help with the fight inside the country.